it seems you have been exposed to the principles of the NRM and the evolution of society and the political economy of the evolution of society, which is what our doctrine is. Therefore, I will simply summarize. The four principles of the NRM: patriotism, Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, and democracy. These are not just principles just because we love them. No. They have a clear logic. The starting point was, do we want a country of parasites or a country of wealth creators? Mwagala ki? Temwagala y'abanyunyusi? Temwagala bamulya byengedde? Bamulya byengedde, byengedde tamanyi gye byava, alya buli. So, if you say, we want a country of wealth creators, then you come to Yoweri Museveni, who is a wealth creator from birth. When I was born, I was creating wealth. Because I was accompanying my mother on her back when she was going to do work. Now, Museveni, the wealth creator, when he grew up, he happens to be, his wealth happens to be around cows and crops. The cows produce milk, produce beef, and then Museveni also grows bananas. Now, the problem Museveni has, which must be solved by ideology, is that the Banyankara around him also produce milk, produce beef, and they produce bananas. Kati bonna balunda balima amatooke. Therefore, Munyankore A does not easily buy from Munyankore B, and vice versa. Why? Because they are producing the same products. They have got similar products. I have milk, my neighbor has milk. I have beef, my neighbor has beef. I have bananas, my neighbor has bananas. So I am stuck. We speak the same language in the morning, it's Agandi or Irota, but you are not solving my problem. My problem is that I want somebody to buy my milk, to buy my beef, to buy my bananas, and I get money to build myself a better house, to sort of get more clothes for my family. In the villages there, you find children fighting for one blanket. 5 children are in one blanket. Barwanira blanket demu. Mama, babiri atute blanket. Echiro, bayomba. Because they don't have enough textiles for the family. Echigambo prosperity. The word prosperity, how do you know how people are, whether people are prosperous or not. You see how many calories they take of food, how many meters of textiles per person, how much electricity are they using, what is their shelter. Now, all that needs money. So this therefore means that Museveni, the wealth creator, the cattle keeper of beef, of meat, of milk, of bananas, needs people to buy those products. We have seen that the Banyankole may not easily buy these products. Why? Because they have got similar products. Have you heard of people called Acholi? Do you know them? Have you ever seen an Acholi, how he looks like? Do we have an Acholi here? Binokan, one of you, just one of you on the microphone. There is Nyara, Kopango.
Kope.
Iliyo Mabel.
Ari Mabel.
Apoyo Bino.
Afoyo.
Pacho Kwene.
Ocho Mabel.
Pacho Kwene. Pacho Kwene. Gang Kwene.
Gulu.
Gulu. Now, do you have an Acholi from Lamo? Bino Khan. Now, Pacho Kwene.
Pacho che la moi Padibe.
Padibe. I know Padibe very well.
Yes.
On the way to Apieta.
Kikome.
To Apieta, to Parabek.
To Parabek, yes.
Now, one day, I was in Namukora.
Yes.
Those people there produce simsim. Do you produce simsim in Padibe?
Yes, Nyim. It's called Nyim. Nyim.
Now, do your neighbors buy from you?
Not. Because all of them produce. Like in August, they grow. In December, there's plenty of it everywhere, every household.
Now you see the problem of the Banyankole with the cows and the beef and the milk is the same problem of the Achoris with simsim. Achori A is producing simsim. Achori B is producing simsim. Who is buying the simsim? Who buys the simsim?
Usually these people who come and they buy and they ferry it away.
To Kampala?
Yes, to Kampala and other states to Jinja.
Apoyo, Beping.
Apoyo material diet. Yeah.
Now, Namukora, the Achoris were telling me that these Langi are bad people. Do you know Langi? Have you ever seen a Langi, how he looks like? Tie Langi kan, Bino kan, Bin. That's how Langis look like. Kopango.
Kope.
Iliyo Mabel.
Ari Mabel.
Pacho Kwene.
Tilera.
Lira.
Yes.
What do the Langis produce? Your family, what do they produce?
Cassava.
Cassava. And the other one, where is your home? The other person, the other student.
Lira district, new district.
Kwene?
Ogur.
On the
next
way.
to Balonyo.
Yes, to Balonyo.
Yes.
On the way to Puranga.
Barlege.
To Puranga.
Yes.
Okay, Apoyo. Now, when I was in Namukora, the Achoris were saying the Langis are buying the simsim from Namukora cheaply, and they are selling it to Kampala expensively. So the people there wanted me to give them a fuso so that they can transport their simsim to Kampala direct without going through the Langis who are the traders. So when we talk of Therefore, for the Acholi in Namukora, in Padibe, in Parabe, for the Mnyankore in Ntungamo, in any part there, his savior is the market of Kampala. They are the ones who buy the milk, they are the ones who buy the beef, they are the ones who buy the bananas. And so, are they the saviors of the Achoris buying the simsim? Now, what does this mean? It means that the answer for my wealth creation, immediate answer, is Uganda. More important for me than Ankole. More important for our Acholi people than Acholi. More important than our people in Kijezi who grow Irish potatoes. You find that the market is here. The people in Teso, you find that, again, they sell their sorghum, their beans and so on to Kampala. So what does this mean? It means that Uganda is the stimulus for wealth creators. It's a better stimulus than the tribal areas. And that's why we say, you people love Uganda. Why do we tell you love Uganda? Because you need it for your prosperity. We don't have to preach to you to tell you this and that and that. If you want to be all right, you should love Uganda. Why? Because you need it for your own good, for your own prosperity. And that's why we say principle number one is patriotism. Love Uganda. Why? Because you need it for your own prosperity. Now, when somebody comes and says, we Banyankwere, I say, stand in Vako. Because if I say, go away, Satan, I'm speaking in the Bantu dialect, but it means, Satan, kwenda mbali. Toka Satan. Satan, go away. Because if I listen to this person who is telling me to think more about Banyankole than about Uganda, this person is actually, I would then be an enemy of the Banyankole first and foremost. Kubanga ngenda kulinya musiyani yawe kwebalira. I will step in the plate of Uganda, of Banyankole, because they are benefiting from Uganda, from the market of Uganda. I will be an enemy of the Acholi, because Uganda is the one taking their simsim, is the one taking their sunflower, is the one taking so many products. Uganda. When somebody says religion, Catholics, Protestants, Muslim, have you seen Catholic poverty? Waliwo obwavu obukatuliki ate obusiraamu ate obucwanga mungambi nti waliwo n'abacwanga wano waliwo obwavu obucwanga. Is there poverty which is Protestant? Poverty is poverty. Poverty is poverty. Now, if somebody comes to buy my milk or buy my bananas, do I care what religion he is? You tell me. Nti osoma dini ki? Before I said you the milk, so kombure dini josoma. Ujinga tu. Mambo ya ujinga. Stupid. Religion is to prepare us for life here, to live a good life, and go to heaven, or go to hell, whichever address you go. Here on earth, we are dealing with social, economic issues, mainly, and the religion assists us to keep pure. So therefore, the reason for why the politics of identity, when somebody brings politics of identity, we as Muslims, we as Christians, we as Catholics, we as Protestants, we as Banyankore, we as Baganda, that is fake medicine. Those are quack doctors. Abasawo, abobulimba. They are quack doctors. Because my sickness is poverty. I want somebody to treat my poverty. And when you tell me religion, tribes, it will not solve my problem. It will not cure my problem. So that's why patriotism is principle number one. That's why from the beginning, from the 1960s, as Babananda was saying, we rejected the politics of identity. Politics of identity. Ndi Mukatoliki, ndi Protestanti, ndi Musilamu, ndi Muganda, ndi Munya. We rejected that. We went for the politics of interests. Kiki ekinakugasa. What will benefit you? Politics of okugasa to benefit versus politics of identity. NRM is politics of okugasa. Okugasa is the Bantu word for benefiting somebody. We are talking of politics of legitimate benefit versus politics of identity, which is sterile and destructive. So this is principle number one. It's not just principle that we love Uganda, whether you love it or not, you need it. Omonjagala otonjagala unetaga. When I buy a shirt from a shop in Kampala belonging to Muganda, I have helped that Muganda to get out of poverty. I have contributed to his welfare. So hence, the first principle, patriotism. Love Uganda. Why? Because you need it for your own good. And all the other nonsense is rubbish. Yes, the culture, Banyankore, it's good to know the Banyankore culture. It's good, the culture, helps personal lives, but not politics. Don't bring tribes and religion in politics. You are an enemy of those groups themselves, first and foremost. Now, the second, Tubatu you know, Africans are never in a hurry. That's why they say Tubatu Chariao, as if they were just sitting. Tubatu Chariao, when we were still there, then we discovered that when the Ugandans wake up and start producing a lot, because most of the time Africans are asleep. They are busy with wrong things, like in the 1960s here. They were busy with those wrong things. Tribes, what have you, Kawakayeka, UPC for Protestants, DP for Catholics, Kabaka Yaka for Baganda, the whole thing collapsed. Off the point, but also poison. Now, when NRM came and started helping them, helping Ugandans to get together, that's how you see there is some progress. Now, with the little progress which we have made, already we have a lot of maize. We are producing 5 million tons of maize. Within Uganda, we consume only 1 million tons. We are producing 5.3 billion liters of milk. Within Uganda, we are consuming only 800 million liters. So we have got a surplus of 4 billion liters of milk. How about abatamivu? Beer. We are producing so much beer. How about cement? So much cement. And so many other products. Now that we are waking up to produce eggs, mayai, amaji, eggs, a lot of eggs, chicken, beef, we are discovering that the internal market is not enough. So that's how the NRM came with its solution and said, you Ugandans, have you heard of East Africa? I said, yes, we have heard of East Africa. Have you heard of Africa? Yes, we have heard of Africa. Why don't we work to unite the market of Africa? So that when the internal market is not enough, the other Africans can help us to buy what we cannot sell here. That is what is helping us now. Because if there was no East Africa, there was no Africa, these industries would have closed. The maize farmers would have gone bankrupt. Sukari would have been bankrupt because the internal market is not enough. So that's why the second principle of the NRM is Pan-Africanism. Love Africa. Why? Because you need it for your prosperity. To add to the patriotism. Now, number 3, socio-economic transformation. We must have a new society. You people, I had your memorandum talking about humanities, including history. If you study the history of society, you'll find that around 1400, the societies in Europe had 3 classes, social classes. They had the aristocrats, the feudalists, they had the peasants, the farmers, they had the artisans. That was around 1400, the time of the Renaissance. That was the same structure we had here, that time. By that time, we had the same structure here. You had the chiefs, you had the farmers, you had the artisans, the blacksmiths, the carpenters, and so on. But some of you studied history. By the time of the French Revolution, 1789, what was the structure of society in France? Do you have a historian here? Abasoma history kambalabe byafaayo jangu kumuzindalo. by the time of the French Revolution. Introduce yourself.
Thank you, sir. I'm called Nwaheriza Samson from Bishop Stewart University, offering Bachelor's of Arts with Education, especially in History and Geography.
What was the structure of the society in France in 1789?
As societies of French people in 1789, there were in 3 classes. There were those that were of first class, second class, and the 3rd class.
What were they called? Wrong, there were 4, not 3.
For the first class, it was composed of the people who were in the government and also the clergy who were taking most especially the education system of France. Then for the second class, it was composed of the people who were relatives of the people in the government, those who were serving in other government positions, and those farmers who had made a lot of profits from the
social classes. Use the word social class. Don't say categories, as if it's a football club or what. Social class. A social class is a category of people in society who live by the same means, same way of living. So the social classes were 4. Social class number 1 were the feudalists. Use the word feudalist, feudal. Have you ever heard of that word? Yes. These are feudalists who own that land, the land you are talking about. Either the church owned the land or the private landlords owned the land. And they were taking rent from the farmers, from the peasants. So, social class number 1 were the feudalists. How were they living? By rent. Rent from whom? From the peasants. And rent could be money or in kind. Now the second class, this is why you really need to be clear about this. The second class, you remember I had told you that by 1400, time of the Renaissance, there were 3 classes in society. The feudalists, those same feudalists, the peasants, and the artisans. But by now, 1789, a new class, social class, had emerged that had never existed in human history. This is what the man from Makerere touched on. These are called the middle class. Middle class or the bourgeoisie. These people had never existed in human history. How were they living? These were people living on profit. Profit is the difference between the price you buy a good at if you are a trader. You buy a good at 10 shillings, you sell it at 20, the profit is 10 shillings. That's how the bourgeoisie were living on mainly. There are other subcategories within that class, but we don't have time to go into them. So you take the idea of the ones who are living on profit, whether manufacturing or trading or what, these are the middle class. In the French language, they were called the bourgeoisie. Now, this middle class produced another class which had never existed. If I own a factory, I employ people, workers, factory workers. These ones live on salary, on wage. I live on profit, they live on wages, on salary. And in the French language of that time, they were called the proletariat, the working class. And then the fourth class were the farmers. Now, do we have people here who study biology? Let me see biologists. Are they there? Can they have biology banange? The one behind here. Or biology jangu.
Excellency, no jangu tibati nahona.
They shouldn't fear, I will help them free of charge. Called metamorphosis.
Yes, sir.
What is it? You tell us.
Metamorphosis is the transformation of one thing into another.
One thing into another.
Metamorphosis is like a change from one stage into another stage.
One form to another form, but of the same organism.
Yes, sir.
It's not a different organism. Okay. Where are you from?
My name is Mukuba Isaac Nixon.
Who?
Mukuba Isaac Nixon.
Mukuba?
Yes, from Kabale University.
Which one?
Kabale University, doing anesthesia and critical care medicine.
Okay, thank you. Introduce yourself and...
I'm Mainja Arafat Chigwana from Makerere University.
People have used the stage. It's all right, you can use stage. But you can also use the word form. From one form to another form, but of the same organism. The basic example is the butterfly. The butterfly starts off as an egg. The egg becomes a caterpillar. The caterpillar becomes a pupa. A pupa becomes a mature butterfly. It's the same organism, but changing its form. Now society, so when we say principle number 3, socio-economic transformation, we are telling you that this society to survive must change. You heard that in Europe, in 1400, they had 3 social classes. By 1789, they had become 4. 2 old ones, the feudalists were still there, the artisans, no, the peasants were still there. But 2 new classes had come up, which had never existed. The middle class and the skilled working, and the working class. If you go to Europe now, looking for feudalists, they are no longer there. If you go to Europe, looking for peasants, they are no longer there. What you have in Europe now are the middle class and the skilled working class. Now here, the danger we saw and we told you people, you have a peasant producing another peasant. Omuntu atasoma n'azaala atasoma. Ate tazaala omu azaala 10. Otasoma omu, the uneducated one leaves 10 uneducated. How will you manage? That's why you find they are destroying the small homestead wealth. The other man, the peasant who was not educated, had 10 acres of land. When he goes to heaven or to hell or wherever, the 10 acres are divided among 10 illiterate, uneducated children. It becomes 1 acre, 1 acre, 1 acre. So each generation, the society is becoming poorer. So that's why we said, you people, number one, patriotism. Love Uganda because you need it for your own good. It's not for the good of Uganda, it's for your own good. Secondly, love Africa because you need it for your own good. Thirdly, you must undergo socio-economic transformation. You cannot continue. One time I was going to my farm in Ixozi, in Buroba here. Buroba is about 12 miles from Kampala. I found about 30 people with dogs, with bears, with nets, hunting nets, that they are going to hunt something. I said, what are these people going to hunt? They said they're going to hunt omusu. I said, what is omusu? He said, omusu is a wild rat. 30 people hunting one rat. Even if they kill it, what will they, how will it solve their problem? So, the NRM people, you must be very clear that the peasants must disappear, not kill them, no, but become new people. New people. Become middle class. We must create a middle class. And how do we create the middle class? Number one, through education for all. That's why we introduced education for all. But down there, your people made it stuck. For us, we wanted free education for the children in government schools, free education. But your people there charge money. They don't listen to our advice. They charge money in schools. So many children drop out of school. That's how you get all these young people who are stuck. Now when you go back, make sure that you mobilize your colleagues, and we really have free education in government schools. Those who want to pay can go to private schools. But the government schools should be free, and day. That's what we wanted, day schools. Because these boarding schools have costs to buy food, to bathe, to sleep. In Rumasaba, they say, who gonna? Who gonna is to sleep? Who gonna in Runyankuri is snoring? So we don't want people to come and snore in the school. You can snore at home, but come and study and go back, because we are looking for a cheap way of how to provide education. That's why we built these seed schools, every sub-county, and every parish, a primary school. The strategy was, a day school is where you go, study, go back. Eating, what is all is at home. Here we just deal with the teachers, with the books, with the classrooms. It is cheaper that way. That's how we wanted everybody to bonaba some. That's one way of creating a middle class. The Banyankole say, omukafiri aliyazaro mushomi. The pagan will produce an enlightened person. The second way is bona bagagaware. Law Nyo, Pi Dano, Ot Acher. War. Now, if you all get money, you will change your way of life. Mama Janet here, even when we were in exile, she never carried these powerful people like the Moses and Natasha's on her back. No. I was able to buy the other small thing where you push the children. Is it what? What are they called?
They are called baby strollers.
Or whatever, those ones. Is it plums or what? Yes. So the Moses, I pushed them. They couldn't ride my wife on the back. Tying them in the back. With the heat. She didn't cook with firewood. With the smoke going in the eyes. That smoke is very poisonous. She did not go to the river to carry water. The water was in the tap. This is the life we want for all Ugandans. This is the life we want. So when we say socio-economic transformation, we say you must shift from that life of mainly muscle, because in the villages, things are muscle, okwetika, to carry the water. Instead of having water pipes, the women and the children are the water pipes. They are the ones to bring the water from the well to bring to the house. So that's what we mean by socio-economic transformation. And the ways to do it, two: education for all and prosperity for all. And prosperity for all through the four sectors: commercial, agriculture. Your commander, your powerful commander, I asked her where she was coming from. She's from Bugwere. And they have got a good way. They say, Okore Kida Kionka. Working only for the stomach. I liked it. In Nyankole they say Okora and Ayonka. But that's a bit polite. When you put it in Rugwere, it's better. It's called Ekida. Okore Kida Kionka. Working for the stomach only. So that's what we say. Please stop working for the stomach only. Work for the stomach and the pocket. Commercial agriculture. Manufacturing. Services and ICT. So this is the third principle, socio-economic transformation. The fourth one is democracy. So therefore, the only thing I could see from the report, the trainers have, and you have become very smart, the parade was very smart. Congratulations. In such a short time, I want to congratulate you. But I thought, and they have of course told you about the four principles, but I wanted to give you the logic. It's not just the principles, it is because you need them. I need them for my survival, for my prosperity. Those principles, I need them, you need them, we all need them. Now, coming to the points that were raised, the humanitarian causes increasing their budget. Yes, we shall. Once you see, this is not that we don't want to increase the budget of this or that. We want, but we don't have the money to do everything at the same time. But with time, we can have more money. That's why we said for now, give more bursary, more support for scientists, science students. Not because we don't know the science, the arts people need it, just because we didn't have money to do everything, to do the roads, to do so many competing demands. But with the improving budget, we shall put more money. But what I want you to know is that the problem with it's not a problem if you are conscious of it. I'm a social scientist myself. History, literature. I can quote for you Shakespeare, what he said, what he was doing. He was looking this way, he said this. I can quote for you Shakespeare. But what our social scientists need to know is that employment in the public service for social scientists is limited. That's what they should be telling even the parents. I will discuss with the mama with education and her technical people. They should be sensitizing you in the rural areas to know that, yes, social sciences are very good. What I'm telling you, the history of the French Revolution, is very useful to know it because you can learn from it here. You call it downloading. You can download what happened in other parts of the world and you bring it here. So it's not that social sciences are not useful. They are very useful. Those who study economics, what are the factors of production? Economists, mujye munyambe banange, obuzukuru buzobuwala. Kampuni obuwala kyebugamba.
The factors of production are land, labor, and organization.
You're getting near there. Okay, gift. Thank you for trying.
My name is Capital, Labor and Entrepreneurship.
Okay. Which means the natural resources. Number 2, labor. Number 3, capital. Number 4, entrepreneurship. Now you see, the entrepreneur can be a social scientist. Doesn't have to be a scientist. He can be a social scientist who puts together capital, labor, and land, and creates wealth. So it's not that social science is useless. It's not at all. But in terms of jobs, public service jobs, you should know that for now, we need more engineers to deal with the roads, to deal with the electricity, to deal with the infrastructure. The hospitals, all these need scientists. Public service jobs, even some of the private sector jobs. So you can study what you want, what you like, because it is also not good to force people to study what they don't like. They should study what they like. But if you study social sciences, you should know that the public service jobs are few. There is one Murka chief, there is one Gombora chief, there is one, there used to be, there are one or two other DCs, political. Even if you put the political jobs, there's LC31, LC51. There are not many public service jobs. The public service jobs are 480,000 in the whole country, 480,000 public service jobs in a population of 46 million. So that's what you need to know. And the parents should know this. And prepare that, yes, an educated person can be an entrepreneur. These billionaires you hear in America, they are not scientists. They are not scientists. Many of them are lawyers, many of them are social scientists, but they know where to go. The danger here is our children to study humanities expecting government jobs, which are not there. By nature, they are not there. There are more science jobs or technical jobs than the administrative jobs. That's all. But otherwise, the issue of more funds, with money we shall do it. But you need to be alerted that, yes, our children have, they all studied social sciences, they have finished. They are doing, nobody's working in the government, except Mhoz, who is in the army. Natasha, the others, they are not in the government. They are doing their own things. So that's what is crucial for, as a parent, as a planner, that's what I want you to know. But I think the Minister of Education, working with the RDCs, they could do more to sensitize the parents in the rural areas so that the people know. Because you find children, they really run around looking for jobs which are not there and can't be there. Because how many Gombora chiefs are you going to have? Are you going to have 5 Gombora chiefs? No, they are not, just one. Now, the issue of stopping children sitting for exams, I think that one, Imam, we shall have to handle. That's not fair. That's not fair. We shall discuss it. You don't release the results or something, but not stop him from sitting. Because that means he will have to start again now, afresh. That's not fair. Disability students, we shall have to study that and see what do we do. Because it involves, but you brought a very good point, which was manufacture locally what the disabled people need. I think that's good. We can deliberately make the wheelchairs here, the listening devices. We can work on that. Even working with the neck. Now, on the issue of jobs, this is where really we need clarity. In the lectures, they should have brought you some of the farmers. There's a farmer like Nyakana in Fort Portal. He's using 1.2 acres with poultry for eggs and 0 grazing cattle. On 1.2 acres, he's now employing 15 people. Now, we have got 40 million acres of arable land in Uganda. You can make a calculation. Suppose out of the 40 million acres of arable land, only 7 million. We are copying the example of Nyakana, using 1 acre intensively. Because he grows the pasture, he keeps the poultry in the backyard and feeds them there. 7 million acres times 15 jobs. How many are those? You calculate it for me. 7 million. Calculate it for me. Huh?
7 million times 16 jobs per
7, if Ugandans could use 7 million acres of the 40 million, the way Nyakana has used the 1 acre there, would create 105 million jobs. Would have more jobs than the people of Uganda. Now, of course, these jobs are not highly skilled jobs, but some of them are skilled. Me as a farmer with Mama, we're employing veterinary doctors. People with university degrees, you find they are there working in the farms and other levels of education. So, the problem is not jobs, the problem is wealth creation. Because it is wealth creation that produces jobs. Obugaga bwange, I am the one who is the farmer, but in the process, I create jobs for Ugandans. Somebody is the one who is owning the hotel, but in the process, he creates jobs for Ugandans. Somebody is owning a factory, but in the process, he creates jobs for Ugandans. So, the mistake is to look at government jobs. You can study, your secretariat here should study the world. Many of the jobs are private sector jobs in the whole world, in the developed part of the world. So therefore, from now on, when you get out of school, the first thing you should say, how can I be a wealth creator? How can I create wealth? Everybody, how can I create wealth? How can I create wealth? From 1 acre, from a myoga, skills, services, border, what? Be a wealth creator and use your education to do that. In 1967, when I bought Rwakitura, I was able to help my father because my father was a traditional cattle keeper, like the Karamojong, moving around with the cows, nomadic. Had not yet got the concept of settled agriculture. But when I finished my A level, I had studied in the school system what had happened in Europe. And when I finished the A level, that's how I taught for half a year before going to university. And some of the money I got, I bought that land in Rwakitura and brought my parents there and started showing them a new way, fencing the land, making permanent water, killing ticks. So therefore, you people should really focus on wealth creation and demand support from the government. I like what Sekou is saying, that we could, the graduates of the patriotism courses should be given support through PDM, or we could even support starting new circles per district of the graduates of the patriotism courses. We can start new circles for you at the district level. Those who want government jobs, the best way I want patriots is the army. If you want to join the army, awombaniriza. But white collar jobs, genda ovuganya n'abali abalala. White collar jobs zino za maofisi, obulumu obutono obuli awo mulina okuvuganya. But if you are a patriot, you are not a thief, you may help us with some of the areas, like accountancy, auditing. We've got problems there, ababbi. So therefore, my message, apart from my ideology, please, wealth creation. Then in the process we shall deal with the jobs, and the rest will be history. I thank you, and I wish you good luck. I'm satisfied with your parade. Mbatongoza, I have graduated you.
His word calls upon us to keep our tongues from evil, to seek peace and pursue it. Today is a day, therefore, I'd like each one of you to mark in your calendar 2025 as a turning point that you will remember for the rest of your lives, as a day when you decided to start again a life of choice. A life where you are going to be the one who will influence others to speak the truth. To refuse to do anything you know is against God and waste time talking about rumors. Make sure you remain sexually pure until marriage. You will not regret it. Beware of those forces and enemies of progress who desire to harness your youthful energy to propagate evil, especially in the campaign season we are getting into. Be mindful of the evil agendas that promote divisiveness and tribalism. Please choose to be change agents of goodwill and transformation, rather than resorting to violence and the spreading of propaganda that is opposed to development. As you return to your universities, actively stand against strikes and violence and seek harmonious ways of solving problems. When you remember what I just said, that you have only one homeland on planet Earth, you must always use peaceful methods to find solutions for the problems you meet in this life. So when you return to your universities, actively stand against strikes and violence and seek harmonious ways of solving problems together. As I conclude, I want to salute each one of you for subscribing and participating in the patriotism clubs in your universities. I applaud you for choosing to serve because leadership is a service. May you be found faithful servants and stewards of what God has entrusted to you. I thank the National Secretariat for Patriotism Club for all the work that you do across the country in fulfillment of your mandate. My gratitude also goes to the leadership of the universities represented here. Thank you for supporting our young people to be here today, and thank you for leading them by example. You know, young people learn more from examples you give by your own life instead of the words you talk. So please remember, you leaders of these universities, that these young people are watching. As you talk, they also watch your life so that they see whether you relate, whether what you say relates to how you live. If you live differently from what you are saying, remember, they are watching and they may learn, unfortunately, from the way you live, and if it's not a good way, then you are not teaching our children the best to live, the best way to live.
Your Excellency and Mama, that is guard number 2, commanded by Namwanga Shadia and Ayamba Bright from Finn's Medical University. Gift from UCC Soroti, assisted by Wabwire Enos from Kim University. Your Excellency, right in front of you is guard number 6, commanded by Warom Ramadan from UCCLO Priska from the Institute of Survey and Land Management. Assisted by Sarama Peace from Guru University. Commanded by Matovu Eric from Chambogo University, assisted by Ayevare Sara, Makerere University. Your Excellency, the beautiful guard in yellow. Your Excellency, the ghetto youth, as you very well guided, are transformed, and the tactics they used to deploy in crime, they are now using them to defend the country. That is all because of your vision and your guidance to the team. Wow. That is parade commander. Namongin Rita Sefu, Parade Kwalisi, Daremu Police, and Parade RSM Nagawa Zakia. Is Parade Guard Commander number 3, Guard 3, Mutonyi Gift and Wabuire Enos leading the guard. Mama and the commander once again is Akampa Emmanuel from Kavala University and Sake Veronica from Kavala University. With such an army of leaders, Mama and the entire